In this episode, I want to give you some updates about what's happening the last months and what new machines I've got the last weeks or days, and what I plan to do in the next months and what I want to show you in future videos. Hello viewers, welcome back to another episode, and long time no see, but I haven't had much time in the last months. The machines run for the first time this year, last week, so now it's the second time they run, and still there are a few updates and some upcoming stuff I want to talk about, but there wasn't much time to do new things, but I think the next week or months I will do some more stuff. And the first thing you can see here before me, this is MicroVAX 3100. And this is a machine I really like because the MicroVAX 3100 is the first VAX I've ever saw in my life. Not this module or this particular MicroVAX 3100, but the first generation of a MicroVAX 3100. And I have also a VAXserver 3100, which is the server version of the MicroVAX, so not the time-sharing version. And years ago I made a video about it, but the VAXserver is broken and it won't work, and I will come back to the machine later on, because there are also some developments. And I've got this MicroVAX 3100 Model 40, as you can see here, this is MicroVAX 3100 Model 40. So this is the bigger version of the Model 30, and it was a bit unexpected. It was last week. It's a perfectly running machine. It's connected to the VT520 here on the top, and at the moment it's a satellite in the cluster. There are 2 disks inside, but I've deleted the disks with the data from the previous owner, so this is all gone. And I will introduce this machine and also maybe a second MicroVAX 3100 in a separate video. As will be one of the next videos. But back to the VAXserver 3100. I saw maybe the previous, I think 1.5 or 2 years ago, and this VAXserver has damage due to the battery. The battery leaked, and then this is a lie, and the lie destroys the board. And I've started the machine last time in November. I did some tests on it, and it released magic smoke, but in a completely different area. So it's nothing to do with the leaking battery. Some other part was broken. But I tried to repair the damage that's caused by the battery, but I've never repaired a PCB like this before. So I used the VAXserver more as a test environment to repair PCBs and this kind of damage. So I have to repair the traces and using some kind of UV adhesive and so on. So this is a bit more complicated when you do it the first time. I've even printed or made a bigger picture and printed it, so I can see all the traces and all the parts of the PCB and find which trace goes to which component. So this is also something I've done. So I now have a big picture of the board, and I've also want to make a KiCad document to see how the system works. So this is also something I will do in a separate video. But I'm not sure if I will do that video, and I have to do more tests with that machine, because at the moment all the traces are good, so in the area where the leakage damage was, but it won't load the image from the ROM, so it won't start. But I see that there is some kind of data. I can see it on the oscilloscope, but I cannot see what kind of data, because therefore I should need a logic analyzer, and I do not have such a logic analyzer. But there's also another MicroVAX 3100 I've got some month ago. It's MicroVAX 3100 Model 10. I posted a picture on X last year. But there's also damage on the board due to the leakage of a battery. But the condition is slightly better than the condition of the VAXserver 3100. and I will try this, and I will try to repair this board as well with the experience I've got with the last attempt and the repairing of the VAXserver 3100. So now there is a next thing. The next thing I have to go here to the side of the room. You can see it here. I see a lot of parts and closure and boxes with stuff, and also there are some VMS4 documentation. But this is another thing. I've got this machine here, and this is an AlphaServer ES40, and this was also unexpected. I've got both of these machines together from the same person, the MicroVAX and the ES40. The ES40 was stored in a parking garage before, so it's not in the best condition, but I think this is just a visual issue. So the boards here, you can see the boards seem to be okay. This here, I think this is caused by the how the machine is stored, but all other boards looked pretty good, and I think it's just the cleaning. Can just clean the board, and then this will gone. And you can see here all the boards. I've removed everything from the enclosure. I have to restore the enclosure because the enclosure itself has a bit of rust, and also here the metal parts, it's a bit harder. You can see there is rust on the metal parts, so I have to remove the rust and then try to bring the machine back to life. I've also have to check the power supplies. The power supplies are not here; they are at the workbench at the moment. There's power supplies are stored here, and there were 3 power supplies in that machine, but I only need 2 of them to run the machine. And this is a quite interesting machine as well, because this is a multiprocessor AlphaServer, and this is my first multiprocessor system, so it can use up to 4 CPUs, and it was equipped with all 4 CPUs. The CPUs are here. This is the first one, the second one, the third one, and the fourth one, and also here are the RAM, also the memory one. You have to use also 4 memory boards for each CPU, I hope that this system is still working, but I will see it after I've cleaned everything and repair or remove the rust from the enclosure. And this machine is the same generation like my AlphaServer DS10, but not with 1 CPU, with 4 CPUs. And if you have a multiprocessor system, you can try out nice new things like OpenVMS Galaxy. So this is also something I want to try out, and if the machine will be running later, I will also make a separate video about the machine, and then you will see running AlphaServer ES40. So then go to another small things I've got. So here you can see now the DECUP 90 is stored in a rack. So it's not my first. Few days ago it was stored here, and all the cable mess were visible, and now I have a small network enclosure for the network here for this area of the room. And there's also some network equipment here down there, and also one is also installed in the enclosure, and this is most of them is FTDI stuff. So I've got here the new second concentrator for FTDI, but I have to check the electronics inside. This is a small damage. On top, the PE switch 900TX. This is FTDI Ethernet converter, but only Ethernet, not fast Ethernet, so I cannot replace the Cisco Catalyst 7000, which converts FTDI to fast Ethernet at the moment. This here down below, this is a DECUP 1 MX, so you can use this thing to run such a module standalone. And before I had only the DECUP 1 here. This module is connected to DECUP 1, which is not capable of FTDI. So this this one module backplane can provide FTDI as well. And here there's another Ethernet port switch 900TP, which is a mixture of a hub and a switch. So you can switch between 12 zones you can configure on the 24 ports. And then this module here. And this I've put it all into the enclosure because I want to try this out soon. This is a DEC concentrator 900TH, and this is a pure FTDI product. So this is not Ethernet, this is FTDI over copper, or called CDDI. So I do not have computer to connect to it, so I need to buy a CDI card on eBay, and I have to use an x86 machine to test it. And the SDI ring is not connected over here, so I have to connect the SDI ring from the other side of the room to that part of the room. So yeah, I need new fiber cables to go over here just to try this out. But this is also something different, because at this time there was the time before fast Ethernet, and you have 100 megabit over copper, like FDI over a ring. Yes, and then there is also another new thing, and this is here. Yeah, you may solve it. This is this is a display problem with that computer. This is a DEC laptop, DEC Digital HiNote Ultra 2000. I saw that in different videos. I did not make a dedicated video about that machine. The laptops labeled with digital are not made by Digital. They use another company and they label it them digital. But yeah, because I like digital products, I have also digital laptops, and so I've got a second one. This one over here. This is my new one. This is VP 525, I think, also Digital HiNote VP. It's written over here. I think it's model 525. This is a Pentium MMX. Laptop is, I think, is quite the same age. This is a bit newer, but same era. And I want to install Windows NT Workstation 4.0 on it. But at the moment, the first thing, there is no power supply. I do not have the power supply. It's not the same power supply like this machine. You have to use another one, and I do not have the power supply, and I did not find a suitable power supply. But I think there are some other computers on the market which use the same power supply from that era. So maybe I will be able to get a power supply. But at the moment, I use my LED power supply at the workbench, and this is possible. So do the configuration and connect just 2 pins, and then it runs. But another problem is the CD drive here on the right is broken. And I need cannot replace it with a standard CD drive, so it fits from a physical standpoint, but it won't be detected from the machine. So I have to use a SCSI CD drive, and I have two possibilities. I have two different adapters from Adaptec. One is parallel to SCSI, another is a PCMCIe or PC card to SCSI, and with that hardware, it's not. I forgot to put it here on the desk, but I have two things. Maybe I will show you a picture of these two things. But with that I can connect a SCSI hard drive, and then maybe I can install Windows NT on it. So, and last but not least, there is also the last thing, and it's here behind me. You can see the documentation. Let's move the table. You can see the documentation. There's some documentation on the ground, but you can see there is a bit more documentation. The VMS 6 and 7 documentation moved to another shelf here on the right, because the right shelf is full of orange books. So I have a big wall of orange. And this is because I've got a nearly complete Form S documentation set yet. 2 folders are missing. You can see this is folder 1A, 1B, 1C, and there's 3B, so 2 and 2A are missing. And this set is built from 2 previous sets. So I bought a nearly complete set on eBay, but this set wasn't in the best condition. The previous owner, or the owner before the previous owner, was a well-known British university, because I found a letter inside one of these folders, and now I know who owned it before. And this set was stored not the best way. So the paper, you can see it here, it's a bit moldy. It's not the best condition. With some kind of leaf. So this is the problem with this set, and you can see here it's also not in the best condition. Also there are some other, here the folder is broken, some other documentation. I do not know what all this stuff is on the ground. So I had some VMS4 documentation folders before, and I've got a few days ago also some other VMS4 documentation folders. So I replaced the folders I had, or I got later, with in that set. So this is VMS4 set containing 2 different sets, or sourced from 2 different sets. And this was a small update. It's longer than I thought, because I've recorded this video 3 days ago, the first time, and I wasn't happy with the result. A long time ago I've recorded an English video, and a lot of and ums, and not the content I wanted, so therefore I recorded it a second time. But this is somewhat double the length than the first attempt. But I hope you found this interesting, and I think the next video will be released, or the next videos will be released quicker than this one. And see you the next time, and leave comments down below.